G'day everyone, we're live again. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Great International Craft Show, and thank you for joining me. I have some things in front of me. I'm just waiting for my computer to kick away. And alright, so, sorry, I just got to get my computer up and going so I can see what you can see. Alrighty, got it. Okay, so I've got some stuff here in front of me. Now, g'day Rado. So this is the little trinket fold-up case. That's this fella here. They come in all the different colours, and closed size is 4.1 by 9.45 inches. Hi Annie, hi Amanda, how you going? Obviously they designed, you know, for trinkets and things like that, but of course you can use it for your sewing gear, so that's what I use it for. So I put my bobbins, I have one with spares, and then I have one with half fulls, then I have one for the bobbin work things. So I use it for, you know, I've got different needles in there, and then I've got some of those clips in there, and that just helps me. I know where they are. I don't have to try searching for them. The other day I couldn't find this and I was like beside myself. Hello Margaret, or Maggie, how you going? So that's the little trinket fold-up bag. It is only $27.95, and honestly I've used it, it's worth its weight in gold. I've used it over and over and over again. So what I want to do is cover the front, or front and back. So g'day Donna, how you going? So I want to cover this area, and of course I'm going to have to go around this. I'm not going to cover this one, but I'm going to cover all this. So the Velcro part on both sides needs to be gone around. So I know that it is 9.45 inches to here by 4.1 that way, but in saying that, g'day Suzanne, I would like to measure it when it's out, and I want to measure from there to there. So I want to measure from the binding to the like inside of the binding, the seam to the seam. Now the reason why I want to cover the whole thing is because if I cover just one side, I'm going to have to sort of sew where the zippers are. So what I want to do is to be able to cover the whole side, and down the center you'll see there's a seam there where one of the zippers has gone, like they've sewn the bottom of that. Okay, and I'm going to stitch it down there. Hi Lynette, how you going? I'm going to sew down that line so that I can actually seal the center of it as well. Just get my wadding out of the way. My wadding is going to be what I'm going to work onto, and so this here I need to measure. So first thing you do, you get your tape measure or your measuring stick, whatever you want to use, and that's 7.5 by 9 exactly. All right, so I'm going to get this fella. I'm going to cut it 7.5 by 9. G'day Judy, how you going? So again, this is the product that I'm using. I know that's back to front because I'm on my phone, but it says Trinket fold-up case, $27.95. You can buy directly from me if you wish. Just have to tell me what colour, or you can buy online. They're on my website, or you can buy directly from Yazzii if you want to. Now, we need to do 9 by 7.5. So I'm going to very roughly with my scissors cut about 10 inches here, just so I don't have this massive bulk. I'm going to throw that over there somewhere, way over there, out of my way. Then I'm going to go, my 9 is going to go that way, and my 7.5 this way, and that's because I've got this cutout section. So I want to just utilize what I've got there. So it's going to be 7.5 by 9. I might even use this end. Yeah. So to do that, you can mark it if you wanted to. So you can mark your 9 here. Just mark with a pen, whatever you like. Or you can use a ruler, like a cutting ruler with a blade, whatever suits, either. You can use both. So I know I'm going to give it a little bit more just outside that line so I can see it. And then I'm going to go 7.5 this way. Now making sure, I can see that's on an angle, so I'm going to have to make sure. I'm going to do about 8 anyway. It just gives me a bit of mistake area, if that makes sense. A bit of leeway. Okay. So just up there. And, oh, that's heaps. Cut on an angle, that's all good. So I've got little bits left over, and that means that that will definitely cover this area. Okay, so once I sew this area up, I can then cut out the sections that this all needs to go through. All right, so first things first, I've got my piece. I know it's a little bit bigger, and that's what I want. I want it to cover, but I can always cut back, sew, and then sew on. Okay. So that I can put aside. Fantastic little tool. Now, in my fabric, and I don't need the measuring tape for now, I have a box. It's the fabric, it's another Yazzii box, and I've covered it. You can see there. This is one of everyone's favourites. And this is the fabric craft box, fabric top box, sorry. And I've got, well, I had all this in here. Plus I had all these in here, takes quite a bit, and I also had these fellas in here, and it just flattens out nicely. It does come with another one of these, obviously, well, not obviously, but it does come with another one of these, but I don't have it with me at the moment because I'm using it for something else. So these little bags are perfect for holding in little bits and pieces, and I'm just taking out these so I can utilise them. Just have to whip my glasses off for a sec. How's the camera? Is it looking okay so far? We can see everything and everyone. Yes, no, maybe, something. So using scrap fabric, I love using scrap fabric, can't speak now. And I like to cut up different sizes and shapes. You can do this at any time, and looks good. The camera looks good. Good to hear. Bit worried because the weather was a bit hairy earlier, so it makes me a bit nervous. And I'm just getting some fabrics that'll go together. And you can cut sections off them. Good there. Pick is fantastic. Thanks, Redo. Thank you, Suzanne. And that's got a nice big crease in it, so that'll annoy me later. So that can just go back in the box until I feel like ironing. And, oops, there we are. I've also got this little pocket, some gold, a bit of green. Blue and green, I know, should never be seen. Guess what? I've got gold in between, so it's all good. Then I also have these in this little fella, and it's another one of those. I've got some really cool things, so I'm going to use those, and we're going to decorate. All right, so I've got lots and lots of bits and pieces. Because this is square, we can pretty much start anywhere we want. I could start at the corner and work my way across, or I can start with a feature piece. So I do like to start with a feature piece. So to do that, I'm going to grab one, so bear with me. Oops, I just got one. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of these. Sorry about that, I didn't grab it earlier. And it's done on a netting. So I'm going to start with this. This is going to go in the center. Now you won't see this edge, it'll be stitched over, but that's okay, I'm all good with that. I'm just going to take it to the machine and I'm going to stitch right around there, and on the machine I am using my walking foot, and just move that over. Bring him over here and just adjust camera a little bit. There we go. Now, if you don't use a walk, and my thread's pink, so that's a nuisance, but I'm not really stressing over it. I'm just going with it and making sure those little bits are underneath. Is that a delivery, Mary? It's what? Oh, it could be Yvonne. If that's the case, she needs 2 dozen eggs. Oh, she's gone. Okay. And a little bit further. Will it not interfere with the fold being in the center? I'm going to stitch over it. That's fine. Yeah, no, that'll just, yeah, that's okay. That will be perfectly fine. I think it's making that noise because I don't have that little, there we go, cut off. Alright, okay, so I've just stitched that down in the middle, okay. It's not going to make too much of a difference because it's quite soft, so it should just fold, you know, just nicely, the same way the actual bag does. All right, and I will be stitching across it to hold it down firm. I don't know who that is. Anyway, we'll keep going. So the next thing we need to do is to place some fabric. Now, I did have some little bits I threw to the side, which I shouldn't have. There it is there. I might use the lighter one. That's a big one. I'm going to start on this nice straight line. Now, placing that seam, edge of the fabric, where that stitch line is, and then move it forward. Okay. Now the first one, because I can't see underneath, I need to just mark where that is, just so I can see that stitch, and I'll stitch well in within that. All right, so I'm just going to stitch that up. Just to let you know, if Bon might rock up and want 2 dozen eggs. Okay, $8. All right, so that's perfect. So I'm just going to fold that back and just move this back a bit. Fold that back a bit and trim it. I tend to fold everything in my hand and get the scissors and just trim. Just make sure you don't cut through your wadding, or I get the blade, like a bit like foundation piecing. Okay, then I fold that over and just pin that down so she doesn't move, but make sure you're well out of your way. Judy just said hello, Mary.
Hello, Judy.
She says hello. Grabbing this one because it will go the whole length, so you can see there's the length of my seam. So I go up to the seam and then I just move a little bit ahead. All right. And you can see I need, if I fold all that back out of the way, hold it in my hand, I need to cut that and just cut that back a bit. Okay, and get rid of that. it, fold it down. I've got a bit of netting there, but I'm not stressing over that because I've missed the seam. See the seam there? But I'm going to actually cover that up with some ribbon in a second. And I find it, the one I want. There it is. This one. So I'm going to sew that over the top of that right now. So trim and just hold it down. And put down. And I do have to change this thread, little darling, because you'll see that. Handy. Oh, true. Hold that up again. Try again. And thread the needle. Alright, so just place that where it needs to be. Needle down. And just make sure that you stitch down the center. So I'm doing a bit of a wiggle line and cut off. Okay, so then that pretty much covers up that line there that you could see. I will come across this to cover up that bit of netting, but I'll do that at the next round. Okay, next one we have to do is here. So I want a different color to that. So let's do I have any more? Oh yes, I have plenty. Let's do a bit of gold. Nice big piece of gold. And that's my selvage there. So I want to place it up to the selvage and past it a little. And I'm going to stitch from all the way across, okay? And just check underneath as you're going to make sure you're sort of catching everything. So you can see I've caught most of it, so I'm happy with that. I am going to trim off some of this. So holding that all in my hand, you've got less chance of cutting wrong if you're holding it in your hand, because you're not going to cut your hand. Well, hopefully. So we'd hope you wouldn't cut your hand. Fold back. Now we can do the green. So, actually there's a bit better piece, and we're going to come across. I'm going to come across here. Okay, so straight across there. So I've sewn straight across there, creates another angle, and then I can hold all that in my hand. So just put it all in your hand and trim that off. Always make sure you're trimming off the right area, and what I won't take off yet. Fold it over. Because it's a silky one, it won't sit on its own, so we just chuck a pin in for now just to hold him down. And we're going to put another ribbon across there of some sort. Thinking I might, that one, yeah, I think I'll do that one. So just trim it the length you need. It's going to be from about there to about here. means I have to come across here, and I want it inside the next seam, but I also want to cover that little bit of mesh there. Anyone got any questions at the moment? We all following well? Okay, so that should hold that down nicely. And now we're going to come across here. So we're going to use the other one of these. And I want it to go right across there. So I'm going to stitch from here to here. Yep, everyone's following okay, good. Woohoo, going crazy. It's pretty cool, isn't it, how to do this? All right. Fold all this back, put it in your hand. So as a florist, one of the things I used to tell the girls, what you don't want to cut, put it in your hand, because you got less chance of cutting wrong, because the chances are you won't cut your hand, although I have had a few do that. All right, so we're going to need to cover that and that eventually, but we'll get there. And next one, now you can see I've gone really well out here, like all the way around, gone a long way around, so it's covered a lot of area. But I do want to cover that little bit there. So that was my last one, so now I'm going to need to go here, so sew that one across there. So I'm come right down. So I mean, I could go all the way up here if I wanted to. I suppose I can, but it just makes that area so big, and then I'd have to put some ribbon over it. I might do it that way. I can do that. But you can come back in and then just trim back. I'm not multitasking today, just watching the class time. Yes, miss. While multitasking. Oh, you're clever. So all that in your hand. There we go. Yeah, I did have a girl actually do that, because she used to talk and cut at the same time. She was only a young girl, and I used to tell her off all the time. I used to say to her, for Christ's sake, Sam, stop doing that. Lovely girl, really nice, but just chat. More than me. Yes, more than me. And anyway, she looked away this day and cut a nice bird's beak into her hand, into the fleshy part of her hand, into here. So I do tend to tell people to not look away. All right, so I'm going to sew this one. Actually, I might actually sew, and I might sew it that way, so it goes in a different angle. Right, tick it under there. So I'm going to sew right from here across, all right? So it's a big piece, and then I'll just trim off the excess right from there. And this one I'm just sewing straight down the centre. I love making the covers for the green bag. I really want to do more. Oh, hello Barbara. Welcome. Is it early or late your way in Montreal? So I've sewn all that down there. and that has just broken up all that big solid area. Now I'm going to, so I've done this one, so I need to come across here somewhere. So to get that, I'm working in that area. So to get that covered, I'm going to lose a bit of this and a little bit of that green, and I'm going to come across on that angle. Almost midnight. You're a late late going to bed. Hope you're all well over there. So I'm going to use this one, which is sort of an aqua blue, but it'll just add a different colour. It's a big piece, and I will cut a lot off it. And I'm just going to pin that there just because of that silky brocade there. And I know that I need to come in on that bit there. That's where it comes in and then out. So I'm going to just sew straight from this edge all the way across. All right. And don't run over those big needles. Oh, you love, yes, 11:30 in Montreal. Wow, so you love sewing at midnight, yes. Once upon a time I used to do that a lot, and now I just about collapse. Gets close to 11 o'clock and I turn into a pumpkin. So this is all stitched in. You can make the decision to snip it out or you can cut around it. Personally, I'm just going to cut around it. It'll just go in the mix. Just cut that out, just so it takes out a little bit of bulk. Not that it really matters. Just depends on you personally. So I'm just going to trim that out of there, get rid of all that bulk, fold it all back in my hand, and just make sure, turning it around, that I haven't got too much of a seam, which I don't. Trim off that excess bit there. Not the first person to be watching at midnight, watching Michelle at midnight, no. Yes. Rado's, I think Rado needs to start a group called Michelle's Stalkers, Michelle's Patchwork Stalkers, because she would be the lead one. I love her. She's awesome. So then I might pop that one across there. I just want to have it not on the same, if I have it on the same angle, it sort of looks a bit bleh. So I just need to come across on a different angle. So I'm going to come across that way. Not the, yeah, I'm just reading the message again. So I'm going to, just feeling under there, it needs to go from here and all the way to that point. So I'm going to snip it right there. If you could see what I'm doing, I look really awkward. Suzanne's in. So sewing down either side of this. The thread I'm using is pretty much a grey Razat now. Nice stock standard thread, very durable. Bobbin, I have the Deco Bob pre-wounds in there. So I don't have tension issues. Alrighty. So I know that I'm going to be able to cut away on this outside edge. So I've done that edge. I can then work on this edge, okay? And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I might do a little bit of green. I think I've got a nice bit of green there. That might actually do the job. Nice. All right, so that's going to go straight across there and hopefully fill that corner. So let's give it a whirl. Well, I guess 2 members of the Stalkers Club would be better than none. Right, girls. All right, so again, trimming back my excess little fluffy bits and stuff, just so the seam's not too bulky. And all those little bits I'm cutting off, I will use. And look at that. It's almost there. We've got a little bit of an edge. And you know, looking at it, do I, don't I? Yeah, I do. I come across and I go, right, I need that one to go straight across. And I know that needs to go the other side. Let's find something else. Ooh, that might do the job. One of those there, covering up that corner. Yes. So this is a trim that I got through Yazzii Bag. I'm going to cut through that. I know I shouldn't. There it is. Pinning that back sets a brocade, so it's quite silky, and it's it looks really weird being in reverse. Looks like you have lefty sewing machine. Yeah. Have you put any new colours of have you got any new colours, the pre-wound bobbins? Good question. I will have to have a search. So I don't think I have. I'm just going to pop that there because I want it to cover that corner. I'll actually go that way. Doesn't matter if it goes off the corner a bit. Take that pin out and just pin. It doesn't matter if I lose a bit of the corner. I'm just adding an interest. Okay, and I'm going to stitch down there and around and back up. I'm not doing anything fussy. All right. Yeah, it does look funny when I've got the machine in the with the phone rather than the camera. But stupid me, you know what I'm like? Forgot to put the camera on charge, so I want it charged up so that when we do the 5 o'clock thing with Craft Alive, that yeah, I've got full camera use. No. Just a little bit of a jump around there, nothing major, bit of a wiggle. I think there will be a few late night stalkers. All right, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I've done that corner. That corner's done. This corner's done. If I lay it over, I know I've got to cut all this. You can see it's excess, okay? So that's working well. Moving to, I'm going to actually move to maybe that corner, I think. And this corner, we're going to put some blue in. And I think it might have to be... It's wrinkly. That's really annoying. Oh, what about this one? That's a different one. I haven't used that yet. That will do. Okay, bit of scrap. So my ribbon ends about here, so I want to make sure that the edge of my fabric is right where that ribbon is, so I don't 10 mil myself. Otherwise I'll have another seam to cover. Here is just a fraction behind you. That's nurse's eye. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's there, isn't it? You can just see it. Yeah. I move it up a bit. That better? You can't quite see it. All right, so a little bit of a lallo corner. That would cover the whole corner. So I make a judgment call as to whether I want something else on there or whether I'm happy just leaving it like that. Me. No, I'm going to pop something across there because that's just me. Let's just bling it up a little. Yeah, that's sort of how I can double check, just talking about the computer, I can double check comments and stuff just to make sure my phone hasn't missed it. Just quite handy to have on. Alrighty, so this one has to come right across there. That's a really big corner. So I can make another call and put one across here, and then that makes that one smaller. Or I have this massive big long piece here, which I do happen to have. Here's one I prepared earlier. Or I can go across like that. But maybe thinking I'll go the big one and then I can break it up. So just want to make sure I grab all my little corners and joins. What's that there? That's a seam, so it's got to go all the way across there. And I'll just get rid of some of that excess when I trim. You can see all that's going to be excess. That's all right. Okie doke. So again, hold that in your hand, fold it back, and give it a good trim. Cut off as much as you can without cutting into your design. If you want to leave it there, you're welcome to do so. It just creates bulk. All right. Me, I'm not going to cut that out, but you can see that makes a massive corner. But like I say, this is where you would break that baby up. Yeah. So I'm thinking we'll go across there with this, and it just needs to be from there to there, so it's not too bad. So the next one I might actually come across on that angle. I think that's just made it there. No, not quite. I could actually put that there. Yeah, let's do a bit of green, hey? Needs to come across, doesn't it though? Might not be big enough. Let's have a look, see what else we've got. We've got a bigger piece there. This one, just trim some. There we go. Shows you how long this stuff lasts for. If you're using it for things like this, it's 1/2 meter brocade. I've used it for so many different projects, and it was a whole $10. And that's cost. Can we all view your 5 p.m. or is it only those who pay? The 5 p.m. is only those in the Craft Alive. So if you've paid your $20 to go to the Craft Alive events, then, and $20 is pretty cool, then you can see any of the classes in Craft Alive. Hi Chris. No, you haven't missed a lot. We're just doing some cutting and trimming. Cut and paste. And to get onto that, you will need to go to Craft Alive website and pick that up, hold it in your hand, make sure everything, including your fingers, is out of the way, and then fold that over. Oh, and I've got a little bouda there that has missed, so we will fix that in about 2 seconds flat. So make sure it's all to the edge. And we fix that with flour. So I've got a little lello one. I'm just going to trim that out of there. A bit of pink. And I might actually take those little doodads off. Yeah, and that one's going to, I'm just going to sew around that and just sew it onto the corner. Hi Yasmita, how are you? This is the lovely Yasmita from Yazzii Bags, who creates these amazing bags that we all love and enjoy. and appreciate so much, because the amount of time and effort these men and people that put into making these bags is incredible. They do that, and I'm told, and Yasmita will double check me if I'm wrong, but I'm told that these people sew these bags on a treadle machine. Takes them hours and hours just to make one bag. They cut all the plastic, like pocket areas. They cut them all by hand. It's not mass produced like you would think. They're all made in India, and it's all done ethically. So supporting families in India, keeping them employed, and keeping us sewers very, very happy, and crafters, of course. It's not just for sewing. So there we go. So we've got that. I've just cut back, if you didn't notice what I was doing, I just cut back to the actual wadding. Okay, so just the size of that. I'm going to really shove all this out of the way, okay, because it's everywhere. And put it all up there. And I need my little bag. Sorry for crossing over the screen. Yeah, and that is going to go on there. Okay. Now, first things first, we're going to need to cut out that area, and we're also going to need to cut out this area. And you can place it any which way but loose. First, I need to stitch down around the outer edge here, just so that the edges are holding when I'm under the machine. I do have a little spot there that I haven't quite finished with, but I'll get to that later. Yes, the large bags take one artisan approximately 20 hours to make one bag. I have asked to improve machines and make things more automated, but they refuse. They just love doing it their way. I feel so bad and guilty. Oh, look, if they're happy, I mean, you know what? People would, you know, in our world, not over there, but here where we are, would love to be happy. If they're that happy to use those machines, and they enjoy doing what they're doing, then, you know, that's wonderful. Very clever people. You give up. What do you give up, Deb? All right, so that is one of the covers there. All right, now what I need to do is just double check myself. I need to take a little bit off, oops, either side, and I mean a little, not a lot, ladies, just to bring it in. And I know I haven't used a blade. Yeah, I know, Debbie, what's happened? But I just know that there's a fraction too big, and I want to make it a little bit neater around the edge, and I sew it down. Alrighty, a little bit of fluff everywhere. Okay, all right, that's that. Now, popping that aside, just over here, spell check. Oh, okay. Grabbing my measuring stick. I know that from this little edge here to there is 3 3/8. Okay, so 3 3/8. You can see there. And from here, it's 3 6/8. Okay, so I come across, I'm going to go I go 3 3/8. Am I only going to lose a little bit of him, or am I going to lose a lot? Am I going that way? No, we need to go this way. So if I come in here, 3 3/8 would make it halfway through that there. So I just need to just mark it. I might even just get a pin and put it there. Might be easier. And from this end, 3 6/8. It's about there. And just laughing at Deb. And we know that it is 1 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 6. So that's, sorry, I apologize. That is 1 5/8. So 3 5/8 and 1 7/8. So we go 1 7/8 from the bottom. So we know it needs to be there. If you want to, you can get yourself a ruler now and rule your line. You can be cheeky like me and just trim from there to there. From, just make sure that that pin's out of my way. Just hold it. Sorry, my bad. I can always take off, but I can't put it back on. So I'm just going to have a bit of a moment with this thing. And that's my mark there. So I'm going to trim across here. Now, if you like to do hand stitching, you can hand stitch all this. Personally, I try not to as much as possible, and that is going to sit nicely there. I'll trim it up a little bit just to make it neat. All I know is I have used the same factory for 20 years and been to Mumbai 80 trips in 20 years. I try to do what I can for them, for all of them, and also pay for their children to go to English school. Oh, wow. Thank you for the fabulous pictures. I appreciate them very much. Oh, you're welcome. That's amazing. You're such a lovely person, Yasmita. I've been tears in my eyes. That's very generous and very kind of you. No wonder they're happy. I'm just trimming off some of that, what's the name? What do they call it? Wadding. And I did lose most of my flour, but that's okay. If I really wanted to, I could actually sit that on there, you know, so it's there, but I don't need to. I'm happy. I'm happy. And once I put that there, alrighty. So, wrong way, silly woman. There we go. There. So I'm just going to pin that there for a sec and pin that one there so I don't make it move. I know I've got all my stuff in it, but just want to make sure that I've got it in the right spot. Hello, Kathy. I am decorating a trinket bag from Yazzii. I'll show you the original one in a second. I'm just going to pull that up there. So, okay. So it's the trinket fold-up case. This is it here. They are fabulous little case. So I use mine for bobbin unfilled and filled or half filled, and then for my bobbin work stuff, and I put my needles in here and things like clips because it's got the 6 little pockets. It's very handy. So I find that really, really good. So I'm just going to mark here. I can see that it's got to come back a bit. And I'm going to mark here. And I'm going to mark here. And I'm going to mark here. And here. Because I can feel this one underneath. I couldn't quite feel the other one. Hello, Wendy. How you going? So to do this, I'm just going to flip that out. Just going to run the scissors along. I know, scary. Hold it still. And then I am going to literally snip, snip. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I've marked those lines and I'm just following them. Flip that back and that should cover that nicely. And it sits right inside that seam now, which is where I wanted it. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Just trim off that's a little bit wonky. Like I say, you can use a blade if you want to. I'm just finding it easier today not to. I'll say easier, more pro. It's just, it was right in front of me, so I thought I'll use scissors. Okay, so that is there ready to go. You want to make sure she closes. Okay, that's the first thing you want to do is make sure that as you hold it there or it's pinned in place, that it still closes. Don't stitch it down and then go, oh my God, it does not close. All right, so pin this side and pin this side. Now you'll be like, what is she doing here? So on here, I'm pinning into there. Did pin into the plastic, but it's right on the seam. That one into the plastic. It's not going to hurt it. Now, you can see here, there's some wadding in the way. So just snip those corners of the wadding so you can push them out of the way a little as you're sewing around. So, not so much needle turn, but we just want to push that out so it's actually just fabric there. And that will be, it's going to have to be done by hand anyway. And same with that bit. All right, so we're going to stitch from here all the way around and then stop and then come over here and stitch all the way around there. Now, to do this, you will need, and you'll need to be very, very careful, all right, because you really just want to, your hair looks good, by the way. Oh, thank you. Thank you, darling. Do you sell the bag and pack? So I do sell the bags. Don't so much sell this. I sell this stuff as well. I've got some of these things and that. You just sort of have to tell me what you want. Sorry, my mouse is not working. Good, thanks. Hi, everyone. Okay, great. Looks great, Michelle. Yep. Do you sell the bag and the pack? So the bags I do, they're $27.95 and they're available in all the colours. And yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to sew from here to here. Now, in saying that, I want to make sure those zippers are in the middle. All right, so just be aware you don't want to have the zippers up either end, yeah? I'm going to be sewing right in that seam, so I need to change my thread to black and a black bobbin, so bear with me. I think I've got yeah, I do have a black bobbin there, and conveniently I have in my little trinket bag a black bobbin in here, because there it is there. There she is. Alright, they can just go back in there, stuff them in, get in. Okay. My bobbin in. Okie doke. So if I don't do it in the same colour as this, a black of some sort, it's going to be really, really visible. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to pin on this side with my pin. See, I've got them long ways. Sure, Suzanne. So what do we got? I need to write that down. Let me put there. Just need a couple more pins. There we go. That one is going to go there, just inwards. So have your pin facing inwards. So this way, try to just get the actual bag front, not the plastic if you can. Not that it's going to hurt the plastic as such, but it just means you've got a little hole, little pinhole in it. It is a handy idea. So that there, and I've got a retreat coming up in March, and I'm looking forward to going there with all my spesh bags and being the only one super duper organised. Except for the girls who bought them already from me, because they're super duper organised as well. So you can see that that's a little bit off the corner there. So I'm just going to give it a fraction of a trim. Actually, no, it's not. If I move it back over where it should be right. So just check to make sure things are lined up properly, okay, before you go trimming, because I nearly trimmed a little bit more than I needed to. Going to take the corner off. Before I trim. Okie doke. Back. Someone was in the shed, thought the A9 I was home, but it wasn't him, so I don't know who it was. They ran when the dog barked. Jeez, just stay safe. Alright, so I'm just going to move it over to the machine, and it's scary ratto. I'm just going to zoom into the machine because you can see all my crap in the background. Nice, there we go. Alright. So I'm sewing from this side. Yes, I know I can't see the other side. That's why I'm going to start probably... Now I could miss a little bit, and I'm okay with that. I'll just deal with it and probably hand stitch it down. But this should needle down, needle up. Just make sure you don't sew over any needles, and make sure you go backwards and forwards, and slow your machine down. So I'm just going to go nice and steady. It's the corner, one stitch at a time. If you've never sat and watched me sew, I do use a stop and start button, which is here. I don't use a pedal. Well, I'd be hopeless in their factory, wouldn't I? On a treadle. So just slowing it down. There we go. Over the zipper, which is fine. I figure if they can sew over the zipper, so can I. Now, I can see I've got a pin going the wrong way, so I need to take it out and hope for the best now. Look at those. And when you get to that little flap, just go backwards, like stitch front and back. All right. Let's see how I went. Hey, look at that. I stitched it down. I missed that little corner bit, but it's stitched down. There you go. It's stitched down. Alrighty, so I'll take those little pins out. Big pins. Do need to do that little bit there. So I might run across there. And I'm going to do this side now. So, keep everything crossed. So forward and back, cut, knot it off, lock it off I should say, not knot it off, lock it off. Slow it down around the corner. So basically these fellas have made this really, really easy for me because their seam has given me exactly where I need to sew. Wait, maybe you ran it off on me. So I didn't really need to think much about that at all. Okay, just make sure I've got that down. Oops, that was a needle. I'm going back to where I started so I can catch that first bit and forward and back to knot it off. You can have a gold star, Michelle. Thanks, darling. Yay. Oh, a little bit of a nick there. Might just push that down and from the front just sew that in just a little so I don't miss it a second time. Okay, so if you wanted to, you can do a decorative stitch around, or you can just trim it right up to the seam. It's up to you. It's a personal thing. Me, I'm lazy, so I will trim. I don't mind. It's a bit fluffy. You can do a satin stitch if you wanted to, or you could even bind it again. No reason why not. You can get a black texture and colour it in. Whatever suits you. A bit of paint. That little bit of what's the name has come undone there. I'm going to grab that with a needle and thread. All right, and I'll just trim that down a little, get rid of the hairy bits. All right, I'm happy with that. This is Michelle made. I've got a little bit of a gap there, so I'll get my pin again. Just wrench that down. That's probably because I've got some bobbins in there. It makes it a bit thick, so I'll move the bobbins over. So the smart thing for me, that man needs blocking. What man? What man? Is there a man on here? Oh, there he is, the patient with herpes. Oh my God. Here we go. All right, so banned from page. And we need to block, confirm. What a deal. There's one in every crowd. And done. All right. Oh, okay. So that's all stitched down now. Like I say, I've got a little bit there, but I can put a bit of like needle and thread to it and she'll be fine. And I'll just cut off my little bits and pieces. Okay. And this will be hand stitched down just with a running stitch, which I won't do right now, but you'll know what I mean. And once that's down, then you can see, and I don't think I even need to stitch the center one, which I thought I might have to. Just take everything from there, across and down. Yeah, so that pulls up there a little bit. Once I sew it down, that'll stop pulling. But yeah, then she's done. So I might get a bit of black texture and actually colour in that white wadding because it's annoying me. But yeah, that works out really well. I like that. Yeah, I just seen it. I'm just trying to see if I've ease gone. so that's done. I'll just back here. I'll zoom back so you can see everything. Yeah. So there it is. That's the back of it. Okay, and like I say, that'll be pulled up, and that's how it works. Okay. All right, so let's see if I got rid of him. You blocked him good. Yeah, everyone else should block him. Love zips are done always. Yeah, always fight with him. Yeah, the zips are done for you. Okay, it's still there. Why is he still there? Okay, ban from page. All right. So now I'll just quickly show you the texture. What I mean by that. You can use paint too. A little bit of a thread. So you can go along here and just get your texture. Oh, apparently I'm supposed to be doing something right now. So get your texture and colour it in. Alright. Take the fluff off. And see how that looks much better already? Okay, you can see the difference between that side and that side. So coloured it in. It's never going to go in the washing machine, so it's not going to matter a whole lot. Bit quicker than painting, but it also gives it a bit of body having the wadding in there. And I'm just going to draw straight over that stitch line that I've done in white, and that's just going to be beautiful. Right. Come on, colour in. You're having fun with the textures? Yes, I am. I do like that. I like using textures. I think I've missed a bit there too. I'll have to get back to. There you go. It's as quick as that. And, oops, missed this one. There we go. Alright, I think I missed the little stitch line there. Little stitch line right there. Colour that fabric in. Oh, that. It's just like I bought one. Oh, I love permanent marker. Alrighty. How cool is that? Alright, so like I said, I got that little hairy bit there. If I cut it, it's just going to keep fraying, so don't be tempted. Just leave it and hand stitch it down. Alright. So those edges between that black stitch and the edge of the actual bag, I've just literally coloured in with a black permanent marker. So I've got rid of all that white thread. There you go, all good. How neat is that? Ah, I used a velvet ribbon but no piping. Okay, yep. I missed, what's that there? I think I've seen that somewhere online too, Stella. The black wadding somewhere. Yeah, there is. I do have a black wadding in stock. It's like a dark grey. I've used velvet ribbon but no piping. Yeah, you could. You're inspiring me to get busy with my stash wadding material trims. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So like I say, I'll go through and hand, or one of the girls will, hand stitch them down. and then it's ready to go. And you know those little bit of mesh, see those little bits of mesh there that I had from before, and I said they're annoying because I can see through them to the wadding. Guess what? Just colour them in. How cool is that? Gotta love textures. Hey? Just colour them in and they disappear. Hey? Good. Glad you're all inspired. That is the idea of this. So glad minions for for a reason. Exactly. So I hope you're inspired to do another one. You could actually, if you wanted to, take these and these little bits extras, but they'll go in another quilt somewhere, another bag somewhere. So don't worry, they will get used. Nothing gets wasted in the end. So thank you for joining me. I will see you guys at 5 o'clock at Craft Alive, and we are going to do Trapunto. So if you haven't paid your $20 yet for a class there, it's $20 for all the classes. Textile glue, yep, or that phrase stopper. I guess we could stencil too with it. Texture, absolutely, yep. Textures got banned from my house when my kids were little, I bet. Nail polish got banned from my house, nail polish. Because I woke up one morning and Becky had gone into the bathroom, got nail polish. I don't even know why I had red nail polish there, but anyway. Got nail polish out and literally painted the walls with it. It was a rented property. All right, so if you haven't already gone and enrolled yourself, $20, you get to see all the classes, so every single class that's in there, and there's a library, so you can come back and forward and see it anytime you like, and it's worthwhile. So if you go to craftalive.com.au, you can see it all there. You can see these bags online on my website, or you can see them in YouTube. I've also got some different ones on YouTube, and also Yasmita has them on Yazzii. I think it's yazzii.com.au or .com. I think it's just .com. Yeah. All right. So I will see you guys very soon. Thank you again for joining me. Yeah, I bet it was Rado. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.